A very good morning. Today we are going to deal with a topic called as the cell cycle and its checkpoints. Now, a cell cycle is the process by which a cell it divides. Division is necessary because as the cell grows and reaches to an optimum cell surface area to volume ratio, it has to undergo the process of division. Otherwise, the cell will burst. So for the perpetuation of a cell, it has to divide and it has to undergo the cell division. And cell cycle is ensuring that cell division. Now a cell cycle is generally categorized into four basic stages. They are G1 phase, S phase, G2 phase, and the M phase. Now there are certain cell cycle checkpoints which govern the movement of the different phases. Like we say, we have G1 cell cycle checkpoint, then we have G2 and the M phase checkpoint. Now, as the word suggests, G1, that is the gap 1, in this it is ensured that before the cell undergoing any division, it has to seek the optimum nutrition. That is, all the growth regulators, all the proteins, all the necessary prerequisites that are required for the cell division are there or not. And further, any damage to the DNA is there or not. So it ensures that all the things that are required for the division or for the process to further go ahead are there or not. If there is any discrepancy, then the cell it shifts to a resting stage that is called as the G naught. Now if everything goes well, then the cell it enters into the second stage, that is the S phase. Now in the S phase, the DNA it is synthesized by the process of DNA replication, and a copy of the genome is made. That is, the chromosome has now two chromatids. And in the G2 checkpoint, again, the process of DNA replication has to be complete along with the appropriate cell size should be there. If any damage to the DNA is there, or if some mistake is there, it has to be rectified and uh, it has to be repaired before the cell it moves into the next phase, that is the M phase. Now in the M phase also there is certain criterias which need to be followed. Then the cell will go the cell division. That is, there should be the proper attachment of the chromosomes to the spindle apparatus. That is, the metaphase plate where the chromosomes are lying, they have to be adhered to the spindle apparatus, that is lying on the opposite poles. Now, as we know that this spindle, it is very important because the chromosomes that are lying basically towards the opposite ends, that we say that during the metaphase plate, the chromosomes that are there, and they have to be adhered so that they are pulled towards the opposite pole, and each chromatid, it is moving towards the opposite pole, and there is equal segregation of the chromatids. Now, to ensure this, there is this M phase checkpoint which ensures this movement of the two chromatids towards the opposite poles. If there is any discrepancy with respect to this, then the process of cell division, it is halted, and the cell, it doesn't undergo any division. So we say that in a nutshell that these cell cycle checkpoints are generally keeping an eye on the proper division of the cell so that the genomes that are lying in the daughter cells, they are haploid, and equal segregation of chromosomes into the chromatids is there. Now, talking about the regulation, the cell cycle checkpoints are under two important regulations. First, it is the positive regulation, that is generally governed by the cyclins and the cyclin dependent protein kinases. And then we have a negative regulation also, and through these signal molecules that are generally the proteins, which are P53, P21, and retinoblastoma, that is another protein, RB protein, which is basically negatively regulating this cell cycle. Now, we say that there are certain growth factors, there are certain stimuli that are regulating this cell cycle to ensure that from a cell, the two daughter cells that are formed are having the genome that is haploid, that is without any error. Thank you.